Hello, my name is Darrell, and I am with Carte Blanche Media there. And I have with me today as my guest Mark Herre, who is the owner of SEO Game since 1996. Mark, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Hey, it's
That,
good to meet you. And I
that
notice I can change my screen on my
Absolutely, you could
to
change
add
your screen.
SEO
It
game
looks like
to
you
it.
just did that. So that being said, tell me a little bit more about yourself here.
Oh, great. The company I founded in 1996, SEO Game, serviced a wide range of clientele that I just jumped right into it and did everything from fixing people's fax machines and their email problems and doing working on their websites, getting them all set up. Those are early stage 1996 problems. Uh, it was almost ISP problems, internet service provider problems, and just getting people set up and educating. And educating continued on with SEO Game. So about 10 years into it, SEO Game had to do a major pivot. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about what I've been doing in the last 20 years that's probably more important to discuss and talk about than climbing under some rusty old desk and fixing a fax machine, because that is irrelevant is all.
That sounds good. I mean, like that kind of like locks right into my next question. Like, how'd you get started building the agency? So, what's been the path of the agency for the last 20 years or so? Yeah, tell me about that.
Great. Well, I just did mention that jumping right into it, I had a lot of new customers. And what I was really into was helping websites get on the first page of the search engines. The Google came around. This is all pre-Google. Google came around, and I noticed the big shift in digital marketing agencies, and everybody just said, forget about the 20 search engines that are out there. Let's all just put it all. And Google became the monopoly and still is today. So I started helping digital marketers, but I didn't realize that the digital marketers was a key component to my success. And so I had to make a decision. Do I want to work with customer owners who are, own a website and have their livelihoods and continue to be demanding, a force for them to get their websites ranked on the first page of Google, as a traditional legacy the marketing and SEO company was back in the day? Or do I pivot and shift my focus to just helping the digital marketing grow their agencies? And so 20 years ago, that's when I went all in to just being a white label specialist, to really just only focus on the digital marketer. And so I claimed, that I started doing SEO for SEO companies and being a white label provider, which just is increased my scale and increased my opportunity to work on, hundreds of websites instead of just token 10 or 12 dozen, that I always had at the beginning. So that's how I call myself a white label provider. And maybe we could talk a little bit about that. Have you heard of white label SEO? And
I have, but for those who are not familiar with it, go ahead and explain that a little bit if you don't mind.
well, white label is just a term that means I'm in the shadows of a digital marketing agencies to make them look good. So I wake up every morning saying, how do I help this digital marketer? Who's my client? The SEO company is my client, the web designer, the social media company, the which I know you are, Darrell. You're a social media. And so
Right.
the social media company that has a client that has a website, how do I get behind the scenes to help get that website ranked number one organically for their top keyword? And being behind the scenes has been my model to make the digital marketer look good as a white label specialist for 20 years. And that's my best definition, but others might have a more academic reason of what white label means. But I personalize it to just say, I love what I do. I make others look really good and be behind the scenes to be the best vendor that they've ever worked with. So they don't have to switch. They don't have to say, oh, well, we tried your 30-day trial approach. It's just not going to work anymore. We're going to go with the keep your finger crossed program with these other guys, right? So I always loved, being a distinguished vendor for a digital marketing company and white label partner.
Fantastic. So that being said, what has been the biggest challenge you've had since you kind of started or made that transition even about 20 years ago?
Yeah, I have a too good to be true offer for the digital marketer. It's hard enough to give away free things to a roofing company who wants to be number one for the roofing, their roofing keywords like residential roofing, roofing contract, roofer near me, roofing near me. Those are big keyword. Houston roofer, right? Roofing in Houston. Companies that do roofing. If those are all the top keywords for a roofing company, and I told that roofing owner, you should just try out my 30-day trial. I'll get all your keywords number one on the first page of Google, and then you could decide to pay. And here's the price, right? It's got to be, it's a pretty good affordable price. They're gonna go, you're off your rocker. You're crazy. Nobody does that, Mark. And I say, well, I do, and I've been doing it for 20 plus years. And so the roofer's just incredulous and walks away thinking I'm off my rocker, even though I've done it for 27 years. It's too good to be true. There's an adage that if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Walk away. I'm scared. Run, run, run. And so people are afraid of too good to be true offers. They're afraid. It's fear that they're going to hurt their livelihood. But I have a track record of doing it. And the digital marketing agency will take that offer all day long. The agency that has a client like a roofer will be going all over the place trying to get that Houston roofing keyword number one. And there's so many other roofing companies in the area. They'll just go target, and they're not successful. So they'll need a vendor who will say, relax, let me get those keywords number one. I'll be as transparent as possible and show you how it's done. They're going to take those offers because they have nothing to lose except for that client, because the client's going to walk with its wallet right in its pocket because the agency can't do the job. Yeah. I mean, what's the worst excuse an agency can give to a website owner like a roofing guy? High ticket keyword, easy to understand. What's the worst words an agency could give? We're working on it, right? What does that mean? It means we have no idea how to do it, but we're just going to keep taking your money until it's done. So the agency has to step up their game a little bit. I help them as a vendor. I offer 30-day trials. That is my biggest challenge, is to convince people that a 30-day trial is worth it. Plus, you're not going to pay that much. You're going to use my wholesale pricing. You're going to make 70% margins. And any business who's making 70% margins on a service, because these web designers, these SEO companies, they can easily charge a roofing company $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, $5,000. They can it keeps going up. And all they do is say it has to be more. You definitely need a vendor who can get them there so they can make $1,000 a month, and they deserve it. They may not do any of the work, but they have the client to keep happy and satisfied. Right.
Very cool. So yeah, you kind of walked me through kind of the challenge. It sounds like the challenge is like, it just, people don't believe that you could get the results for such a unique pricing structure. What's kind of been your biggest success there, like with marketing, working with marketing agencies or otherwise there?
Yeah. The biggest success is meeting people like you, Darrell. Not gonna lie, we had our one-to-ones and we get to know each other, and it's about networking. And so my recent biggest success is networking with digital marketers. You may never ever on your website ever put 4 or 5 bullet points that you need to sell SEO, because that's not in your lane. But when you have a customer, you'll probably who like a roofer or any high ticket, any SEO company that's livelihoods in play. And they're asking about, well, what about my website being ranked? You might instantly think of me. And I call that just champion partner, creating champion partners into companies like yourself, Darrell, and other digital marketers who may never put those 4 or 5 bullet points on their website that says, hey, I could sell SEO. Because if they did put their 4 to 5 bullet points on their websites as a digital marketer, guess what? They'll have a partner in SEO Game that will come to the Zoom meetings with the clients, do the reporting, do all the fulfillment, do everything that will make them look good. And then they can sell their SEO package. And yes, it takes a little bit of hand holding to get them so that they can confidently speak to a customer about their SEO service. And I say there because it's now it's like they're a team effort. And so networking with digital marketers has been the biggest success that I've had.
Fantastic. Kind of veering a little bit here as far as kind of like, and you've been in this business for a while, but is there a kind of a favorite marketing book in, say, the last 10 years or so, or business book that has helped you along your path?
I started my company in college in 1996. And when I was in college, I minored in a degree called entrepreneur education. And they said, go ahead, create a company. And I had all the book learning and I just revisit those books that I have. There's, the 1 Minute Manager, To Run a Team. It's all team management that I picked up in 1996. They just formulated my positions of what I need to do. In fact, learning how to be a scalable company. And learning learning a little bit about reverse psychology, or a little bit of positioning myself when I'm in a networking situation and there's a table of people and I'm sitting at the table of people and I get my opportunity to say who I am and what the company is. What I'm focusing on is that to be intentional so people actually know who I am. And so I'm breaking a little bit about book learning. I just wanted to, be intentional of who people are thinking about. So they may never, ever use my services sitting around on that little networking round table of people just eating lunch and talking and saying, oh, we're going to go through everybody gets a chance to say a 1 minute, or we're in a breakout room in a Zoom meeting, whatever. It's always about being intentional, about knowing who my key referral partners are, always going for who my number one person who I want to work with. It'd be a digital marketer who builds websites. And if they say, well, I'm fresh out of people who I know that are web designers and digital marketers, I say, well, do you know an SEO company? And they go, well, there is these people that keep emailing me. I go, great, send those emails to me. That spam email is my golden ticket to fill up my pipeline. And you can do that by just, even if you don't know that person, just forward that email and say, my fractional marketing expert, and is going to help you answer that question about the SEO you want to do for my company. And then take it away, Mark, and then I'll get an opportunity to book a call and possibly have a new client, fill my pipeline.
Awesome. So kind of moving on a little bit on just kind of things that have influenced you. Are there any podcasts that you kind of pay attention to right now currently there that have helped you along your way?
Yeah, I just have podcasts that are, still today, the ones that I've listened to the most, but they're mainly the sales podcasts that have sales fractionals in them, talking about how the fractional sales podcasts.
Fractional Sales Podcast is that the name of the podcast? Awesome.
No, that's just that's what I call them. I listen to them. Those are the ones that inspire me the most. Is fractional sales people who are.
Is there like one in particular that you kind of like?
I had them all on Stitcher, and Stitcher died.
Okay.
And Stitcher died last week. Have you ever heard of that platform, Stitcher?
I am aware, and I'm aware that it just died. Yes.
It died,
Yes.
and I had a couple of them on there, and I did transfer them over, but I listened to a couple of them, and the names are just sketchy on me, so I'd rather not talk
Gotcha.
about
Have you ever heard of the Salesman podcast there?
it.
Like, it's just one that I kind of
I
listen
just
to.
love Fractional Salesman. What do you like about that one?
The Salesman, just it kind of interviews really, for the most part, like high end, top of their field salesmen and women, and just kind of gets their opinion on different techniques that work and don't work. So that's kind of what makes it interesting to me. There, that it's like kind of moving on a little bit. Like, do you
Okay.
have like a YouTube or a video series that you kind of pay attention to or really stands out to you at all?
I don't have time for all this, actually. I mean, really, the things that I focus on, if I am ever on YouTube or on a podcast, it's more for what I'm doing at 5 in the morning till 11, sometimes 10 to 11 in the morning, where I don't even start my day. It's on my hobby and what I love. So it juices me up. And if I'm listening to a podcast, it might be on based on writing books. I'm more of a writer than a book reader, meaning I write my own books. I have my own books that I've written in marketing and in my hobby of historical fiction and things that are related. So so I guess if I were to listen to a podcast or a YouTube channel, and if you saw my subscription lists in my feeds, you'll go, wait a second, Mark, this is nothing about marketing.
And that's perfectly fine there. Just a couple more questions for you. Like, has there been a helpful resource or tool in your business in the past year that has been really
Oh,
helpful to you?
great question, man. I tell you, can I give amen to a chat GPT and how? Um, for instance, my 10,000 hours of experience and work that I love doing is when all day long, there's 5 of them right now sitting in my email saying, take a look at this website, tell me what keywords we need to go after. And I look at the website and I give a little bonus to the digital marketer. When they give me a website, I put my 10,000 hours of professional experience in. That's all I've been doing since 1996 until today, is looking at websites and finding high ticket keywords in them. Now that's a unique power keyword audit that can get sent into the hands of a digital marketer that can do something about it. Because remember, I wake up every thinking, if I get opportunities to evaluate and do an analysis and ranking report on the website, I get to share it with the client, put their logo on it, and then they send it to the customer in their inbox. They look good. They close deals, right? I don't get deals unless they're closing. And so to help them make them look good in these, and the tools I use at ChatGPT are, let's suppose you gave me you have a relationship with a woman physical therapist, and she's a business owner. She runs this clinic, and she only wants women to find her in a competitive market, let's say Houston, for women-related issues when it comes to physical therapy, physiotherapy. Now, you and I are men. We don't know much about the women keywords that women search to find this professional physical therapist. But guess who does? I could ask ChatGPT, what are the top women's services women provide for physical therapists? Boom, boom, boom. A couple of prompts later, I have a good list. I can tell her these are what the top things people are searching for on a Google search. And we need to be number one for it. And then they get them number one in 5 to 10 days. And they're happy because now, boom, women are only calling them and men aren't talking to them about their Achilles heel, which is always their weakness, right?
Fantastic. And two more questions for you here that we'll kind of wrap up. So, what would you say is the most impactful piece of advice that you can give to those who are looking to improve their SEO?
Oh, I love it. Digital. Well, can I speak for the digital marketer first and then for the individual?
Yeah, sure.
Digital marketers, listen to me. Niche, 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 niche. If you are a digital marketer and you want to target, and you're a man like me, and you want to target guys that are on roofs and they run a roofing company, and they're men, and they're doing things like garage flooring, epoxy, and they're doing things like mobile tinting and vinyl wraps and everything related to paint protect, and they're doing it mobile, and they're doing home window tinting, and these are all man things and man run business. I'm not to say that women don't run them too, but it's the majority of the men. And guess what? Holy cow, niche into that industry and be a rock star as a digital marketer for helping the window tinter, to helping the roofing guy, to helping the garage flooring, all high ticket items. You get a customer in garage flooring, and you're going to be able to get your hooks into them with your web designs and your other social media things that you do, Darrell, and everything else. And you're going to have SEO, and they're always going to be number one for the word garage flooring Houston, roofing company Houston. And guess what? They have the partner that keeps them number one, and they're going to pay you month after month after month and never give up on you. Go after the clients that are high ticket and go after that niche. Second advice, if you're just a web designer, if you're the roofing guy and you want to be number one for the word roofing Houston, go after the guy who says he can do the job on a performance model. No rank, no pay. Come to SEO. SEO Game will do the keyword evaluation and get your keywords number one in 30 days and pay him his $400. Okay, that's not my retail. That's my retail offer, not my wholesale, because you're not a digital marketer, but it's still darn cheap. And you don't pay until you show up number one.
I think that's a great deal. And last but not least, how can people get a hold of you or learn more about you, would you say?
I love that. Easy. Mark Herre, SEO Game. Google it. Mark Herre, SEOgame.com. And if you want to see the white label page, just check out the white label section. Find me on LinkedIn. Let's do one-to-ones and become a champion. I'll refer you day in, day out if you just meet with me. And my calendar is open.
Right. Well, Mark Herre from SEO Game since 1996. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Darrell, for your time.